Take sap. You can see that really dripping. We've already done about 5 gallons. And you can see that it's been overflowing. I haven't been emptying it often enough. But you can see the wetness on the base of the tree. I've collected for a couple of days, and then it got really cold with real bad cold snap, and trees quit running. And 4 days ago or so it started running again. So I've got about 5 gallons collected right now to boil down, and we're going to start that. So I'll show you how that gets going. I've got my stainless steel pot and my sap has been filtered through here already. This is just my for processing honey. It sits on a 5-gallon bucket, nice, so that's why I use that. But you can see that it collects, filters out any of the debris that's in there. There's the sap before we've boiled it. I'm going to run it on high for a while, get it boiling good. When it starts reducing down, I suppose when that gets close to a quarter down maybe, and that's just a rough estimate, we're going to reduce the heat and start letting it just more simmer than boil. If you boil the reduced sap, you'll end up with maple sugar. Or maple candy, and we're looking for syrup. So we don't want to boil it too hard and too much. Once we get it down, we want to slowly reduce it. It's been 6 minutes shy of a full hour, and we're finally at a full boil. I'm going to skim this stuff off. There you go. We're going to let it boil more. Alright, it's been an hour and a half since I put it on the fire. We're going to skim some of this gunk off. Let it keep boiling. Alright, it's been 3 hours exactly, and we're maybe a third of the way done. And we're going to be leaving, so I've got to turn it off, and we'll have to start it up again later. This is the thing with making homemade syrup. It takes a while. It's time consuming, and if you start doing other stuff and don't pay attention, it's easy to ruin your syrup. Okay, I started this back up again, and it's been boiling for almost a half an hour again. So we're at about 3.5 hours, and you can see it started right out there, and we're, I don't know, little under halfway. But I just went outside and emptied the containers again.
emptied the containers again, and this was what I got. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this to what's already boiling, and we'll just kind of keep working it down. It's getting warmer outside, and I don't want to leave this sit too long without being refrigerated, because it will mold. So we're just going to add it to what's going on. I'm just simply going to pour it in. And we'll get that back up to a boil and start the timer on how long it takes once it's boiling again. Alright, we're 5.5 hours into boiling, and this is as far as we are. You can see it's changing color more. And I did add that extra roughly gallon. But you can definitely smell maple. It's changing color. I think I'm going to shut it off for the night. I'm kind of tired of babysitting this, honestly, for a while, so we'll start her back up again tomorrow. Okay, it's the next morning. It's cooled down. We got some condensation on there. Set that aside so it doesn't drip back in. And you can see in the bottom that there's been some settling out of pulp, I guess is what I'm assuming that is from the tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to ladle as much of this off as I can without disturbing that, and then I'll filter what's left through maybe coffee filters. I think this is still thin enough to go through a coffee filter, but I'm going to try and ladle stuff out first. Okay, we're going to go from the big stainless steel pot to this small one and just start reducing it in a smaller batch to get that stuff filtered out. Well, I don't think that's going to kill you, and I don't think it's really going to hurt the taste of the syrup. It does settle out and it doesn't look appealing. So instead of pouring this and getting it all in there at one time, I'm going to do a little at a time. And as the filter gets clogged a little bit, I'll change it out. And I think that'll make this process go just a little faster. Slowing down just with that in there, so I'll let that filter through and then change the filter out. You saw how fast it was going through to begin with. Now it's just kind of trickling because the filter starts to clog. Alright, there's still a little bit of liquid in there, but you can see how the filter, that little bit, starts to clog it up. Now you can imagine if I just started pouring how much there would be and how long that would take to filter through. And I've said it before, but that's part of my issue with doing this, is it takes a while, and I get distracted because I don't like to sit around waiting. Now, what would be ideal is if I had an outside system and a large stainless pan, like that has a lot of surface area. Then you would have more in contact with the heat, I think you'd get it up to a simmer, and you'd evaporate it faster because it would have a larger surface area. And that would be ideal, but that would require me building that, which is something I want to do. It's just not real high on the priority list. Alright, I've 4 coffee filters, and this is, the rest of them I didn't let get quite this bad, but you can still see that it's not draining well, and that's been in there a good 5-7 minutes, staying about that level. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Even though we filtered this through, coffee filters, I don't know if you can still see it, but there are some particles at the bottom you can still see. So it's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Okay, we just got this up to a boil. We're still draining that over there, but this is boiling, so we'll start the clock on that again. We're at, I think, 5.5 hours of boil time. And again, as this gets lower, the water level gets lower, the sap level gets lower, I'm going to reduce the heat to just a total simmer. I don't want to boil this hard and rolling boil when the sugar content's higher. I'll end up with candy, and I don't want candy with syrup. Okay, I have the heat down quite a ways. I just want to kind of keep it going. I don't want it roll and boil. So it's down almost as low as it'll go. Just enough to keep it actively working. And I'm thinking that looks pretty good. We're going to give it a test. But that actually smells pretty mapley. I'm going to turn it way down. I'm going to get the oven started and get a couple of mason jars in there to can it, because I'm guessing that's going to be good. Alright, that's cool. It's been another 13 minutes. I think that's thick enough. It isn't going to hurt it to cook down a little bit more. But you can see in there it slowly runs across the bottom of the glass. So we'll just let that go a little bit longer while the jars are getting hot. Alright, we got a quart out of the maple syrup. That's about what I figured we were going to end up with. The consistency's pretty good. You can see how it sticks to the glass and slowly, kind of like motor oil, not quite that thick. That's pretty good. It's got a good color. And it was 10 hours to get those 2 jars, to get a quart for basically 5 gallons of sap. That was just boil down time. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.